all that good stuff. Today, I don't know how many days from Christmas, but we're pretty close to Christmas. And I'm diving into the Christmas spirit, and hopefully we all are. 4 days, okay. Thank you. 4 days before Christmas, diving into the Christmas spirit. And I always feel remiss if I don't talk a little bit about Christmas as we get close to Christmas. And of course, Christmas is being commercialized, and if we aren't careful, it can be a time of stress. It can be a time of worry, a time of trying to figure out how we're going to get enough gifts, or fighting the folks at the malls. Although I hear there's not as many people in some of the stores and whatnot. But we have all those things going on. But ultimately, it comes back to the giving, and ultimately, for me, it comes back to the light. Uh, they say, Jesus said, "I am the way and I am the light." And this is the idea. Jesus also says, "These things I do, you can do in greater." This is the idea. And I I always have to remember that we are light, and that the light is inside of us, and the light is to come through. And just recently, some friends of mine, William and Cheryl, gave me a book, Whispers from Eternity. And I thought I knew the page that it was that I got this information from, but when I went to look at the page that I thought it was, I did not see the page. So now I just have to tell you what I remember from the page, because it really struck me. And he was talking about light, and he was talking from the standpoint of light coming in and us not obscuring the light, us being open so that the light can come in, and we can be transformed by the light. And it was saying that we all have that light available to us, all of us, and saying it's not more available to this person than it is to that person, unless somehow we are obscuring the light. How do we obscure the light? We obscure the light by being too concerned about certain things, with fear, worry, anxiety, anger, all these things, or just being sidetracked. These are the things that obscure the light. When we come to Christmas, this is the time to share our light. It's the time of giving. I saw a friend of mine online, and they had an event. They had all these toys. I think it was 4,000 toys that they had for kids. So people were giving. This is the time people get into giving spirit. We are sharing our light, and at the same time, if we work at it, we are taking in the light. The more we take in, the more we take out. I remember when I was a kid, maybe just out of high school, I remember my girlfriend, she got this saying from her mother, but she used to say, my mom says, garbage in, garbage out. And that always stuck in my head. Like, you take it in, what she was saying was garbage or negativity, then that's what's going to come out is negativity. But it's the same thing with the good, the same thing with the light. And it kind of caught me off guard when I was reading this poem by Parahansi Yogananda that he's talking about taking in the light. Kind of caught me off guard, because I always thought about the passage in the Bible, do not hide your lamp up under a bushel, how we have this light within and how we can connect with this light within. But a lot of times I don't think of it as us taking in the light and stopping ourselves from taking in the light that is always available to us. We are to be reborn. We're to be reborn of the light. It's like from going, some may not take this the right way, but from going from Jesus to the Christ, from going from the Christ to the God. You're finding the God within you. That's a part of what the meditation process is about. It's about getting rid of all that junk that obscures the light from coming in, that obscures the beauty from coming in, obscures us from partaking of the beauty that is already within. And then as we partake of that beauty, then the beauty comes out. When we see someone doing a wonderful, caring act, we are seeing the light. When we see someone giving, we are seeing the light. When we see a masterful performance, we are seeing the light. Quite often, we see a masterful performance and they talk to that person who performed, whether it was music, whether it was a sport, or whatever. Quite often, they speak about getting themselves out the way. Quite often, they speak about forgetting about the audience. Quite often, they speak in terms of connecting with this place inside themselves that allows them to give. And then when we see this, what we are inspired by is we're inspired by the light. We're inspired because we see that magic. That magic is in all of us. And from my little interpretation of Christmas, this is the time for us to celebrate the light. It's not a coincidence that whether you say it was Jesus' birthday, whether you say it's the time that we celebrate Jesus, more light coming into the world, it's not a coincidence that it's during right around that time of what they would call the winter solstice, right around that time to when all of a sudden the days start to become longer. The days get shorter and shorter and shorter after the summer solstice or whatever. Then they get longer and longer and longer. But now we're coming into the winter solstice, that time in which it's the shortest day of the year, but then we're moving into more light. It's symbolic of what we need to do in our life. Move into the light, share the light, share our beauty. I know me in particular, when it comes time for me to share my beauty, the beauty within me, it can sometimes be a challenge because I have to get me out the way. I have to get the concerns as to how I'm going to be looked at out the way. And this is quite often indicative and true of all of us. When it comes time to share our life, we have to get our smaller self out the way. Remember when years and years ago, there was this book, The Little Me and the Great Me. And the whole idea was that there's just two me's. There's this little me, the one that's concerned, the one that's worried, the one that is self-identified, the one that's attached to the ego. And then there's the great me, this other part of ourselves that's within, that's waiting to come out, that maybe we wish we could get out. Maybe we have visions of at times. Just this morning, I was chanting the mantra over and over again to actually let go of some things that were just in my mind and driving me. Good things, but I have an obsessive nature, so I knew I was getting obsessed. I was saying to myself, man, you have got to let go a little bit. So I started chanting the mantra over and over again. And next thing I knew, and I was resting at the time. I got back into bed for a minute. I figured I had 30 more minutes of rest. But then all of a sudden, I started seeing visions of inspirational things and things that could be done. Now, you could say it was a dream, but it seemed like I was awake. So you could say it a meditation. I don't know what you want to call it. But on account of that chanting the mantra, clearing my mind, opening up to the light, I started getting inspirations of what Craig can be like. Sometimes I walk into it, sometimes I don't. The more I get myself out the way, the more I do. And this is how it is of all of us. This is the whole purpose of the meditation process, is to take the time to get our smaller selves out the way. And as we move into this time of giving, this is what we're to do, to find ways to give, find ways to get up off of us and onto sharing our light. This is why we give the gifts on Christmas, because once we are moving into that whole spirit of the light within, once we move into that spirit of being reborn, Christ-like, whatever you want to call it, this is when we become a natural giver. And then people can see it. But every day is Christmas when we are partaking of the light, when we are sharing the light. But this is the time to get into it. This is the time to practice it. This is the time to remember, the time to get back into it. And this is the time to let go of all those concerns that come up quite often at Christmas time. Just to go into it peacefully. You just go into it, hey, What I have to give is what I have to give materially, and I will find other ways to give in the meantime. And then we just walk out and we do it. Sometimes we can't find a way to give materially. Sometimes what I will do is just give in my mind. I'll just send good thoughts to a particular person that I feel like needs it. It's still a part of the giving process. This is what the season is all about. It's time to throw on those. We're going to have a Christmas marathon at my house. We're going to watch the uplifting Christmas movies, some of the old classics, the Christmas Carol movie, where he ends up. We know the whole story of Ebenezer Scrooge, who becomes transformed. We're to become transformed. We're to watch It's a Wonderful Life. Who remembers that this is a wonderful life. The whole Jimmy Stewart movie, and I guess my wife's gonna make me watch Miracle on 32nd Street or whatever it is. I forget.
34.
34. There we go. See, I'm a couple blocks away. But I'm getting there, Kelly. I'm transforming. But we're gonna have that Christmas marathon to get in the spirit of things. Find something to do to get in the spirit. Get up off of ourselves and move into the light, into the season, and enjoy. And just get into it. Till next time, peace and blessings to you all. And thank you.
We're hanging out on 32nd Street.